Right.
All right, we are go for launch.
Good evening and welcome to the February 25th, 2026 meeting of the Henrietta Town Board. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Here.
Councilmember Stafford,
Here.
Councilmember Safranek,
Here.
Councilmember Owens,
Here.
Supervisor Schultz.
Here. We'll begin the meeting with a silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Supervisor and town board members, I move to approve the minutes of the preceding meeting of February 5th, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. First up, we have a special use permit application number 2026-002, Blackbeard Canine Solutions LLC, 975 Jefferson Road, to operate a canine coaching service. We have a representative here. Please come on up to the podium, introduce yourself, your relationship to the project, and then tell us something about the project.
Hi there. So my name is Frank Guido. I'm the owner of Blackbeard Canine Solution. That's essentially what we are. It's a business that offers dog training, but in a completely different way. So instead of the dogs coming and staying with us, it's 1 hour sessions that last for 1 month. We meet Tuesday through Friday. We never take more than 8 clients at a time. So it's 1 client per time, but it's up to 8 hours a day. We generally sit around 5 to 6 clients a month, but if we have busy month, I'll take extra folks on if we need to, but never more than 8. The business itself sits in that building of 975 behind, so it has its own entrance. Dogs are never off leash or outside. Everything would be conducted inside of the buildings.
Frank, how long have you been in business?
Yeah, so the business itself, we opened in 2021 formally. I've been working with dogs forever. As I can remember, it's been my one true love. So I came back to it for sure.
What do you find yourself training dogs? I mean, it's owners that can't control their dogs, like dog whisperer. I mean,
Like to call myself the dog whisperer.
okay.
So 90% of what we do is essentially coaching the clients themselves through how to handle the dogs. Most of the issues I deal with, the communication error between the owners and dogs, which leads me mostly in behavioral management side of things.
Okay.
Tend not to take many true aggression cases. We're looking at maybe 1 in every 1,000 dogs is brutally aggressive. So very rarely does that happen. And I tend to not take those on just for liability reasons as a whole. Most of what we're taking on is generalized puppy raising, generalized education on how to properly live with your dog. That's the biggest issue that most folks struggle with when they're having behavioral problems in the house. There's a problem with the communication between the lead handler in the house and the rest of the family and stuff. So we try to work on it.
Okay, thanks.
Do you do any certification things like good canine
Being a
good
good
citizen?
citizen, yeah.
Yeah.
So I am an evaluator through the AKC, and recently in the past month, I've started everybody that graduates with us. We take the test. So we put on the test itself, and anybody that goes through the program, 4-week program, we make sure that their dog can pass that canine good citizens test. And I try to push my clients to go for the community and the urban as well, because it's just an extra thing that they can do with their dog that's important to make sure that we have control in a whole situation.
Like, do you go to the therapy level? Like,
I don't. And
Okay.
the reason why I don't go to the therapy level is because of liability reasons and being in New York State. I leave that to people who are true professionals that sit and only really take care of therapy dogs themselves. I'm capable of doing it, but I want to make sure that if somebody is training a therapy dog, it's being trained by somebody that specializes in therapy work itself.
So you've been running this business for a while. Where has it been located at previously?
Yeah, so we did most of our stuff in the beginning in-home private lessons, as most dog trainers get started with. For a while, we were operating in Irondequoit. We had a spot in Irondequoit. We're still there. We just need a little bit more space, and I need a little bit better access to the county itself. Being in the center of the county is super helpful to most of our clients. A majority of clients do come in they're not all directly from Rochester proper. So sometimes being out on that side of town makes it a little bit more difficult for folks. So it's kind of the goal for that.
So you're relocating from Irondequoit
Yes.
and any in-home things, and you have a location
Yeah,
here.
we're trying to get away from in-home. Again, liability, being in somebody's home opens things up a little bit. And I like to have control over all the variables. So when it comes to the dog training, making sure that the dog training itself is coaching of what's going on. One of the kids comes home from school late, and then it gets everybody riled up, or things are moving around, and I can't control all of those variables. So being in a little bit more of a sterile space gives me a little bit better of a point of view.
Can you describe the space that you're utilizing, Reddit, that you'll be moving into here? a little bit?
It's essentially just a giant rectangle. There's not much going on in there. There's a bathroom. It's a bathroom, and then it's just an open space. What our goal is to get, make sure that we have proper flooring, like the mats, the removable mats down. But we don't need much. So what we're looking for really is to just make sure that we have the ability to have an open space of a somewhat sterile environment so that we can get some of that modification down pat, make sure that folks feel comfortable.
So you're not gonna put up like dog agility equipment or?
No, if we did anything, it would all be like removable PVC, like built out of PVC stuff of that nature, place cots, simple stuff like that. I'm not going to be putting any permanent installations. So that kind of impedes on having a giant space to move around and get to work.
Yeah. And in terms of like if the dogs need to use the bathroom or anything like
So
that?
there's a pretty small space, probably 10 foot by 10 foot right outside the door
Okay.
that the dogs can use the bathroom on. All of our contracts that we give out to our clients are very, very clear. If your dog is not picked up, it's no longer. So we make sure that everybody is on top of cleaning up after their dogs, all of that stuff. And if a dog is ever outside, whether they're going directly from a building to a car, they have to be on leash. Although we do offer off leash stuff, all of that is done in spaces where it can be handled correct, where it's legal or should happen. It's that nature.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much.
I stopped by there today. Had a kind of a, issue finding the place because
It
it's
is hidden.
975, there's 975 on one side of the driveway, 975 on the other side of the driveway. So, everything was, I actually saw on the original map, it said Genesee Valley Market in there, and I
Well,
was
that's who owns the land.
right. Originally, I thought it was across the street
Right.
until I saw, once I realized the address.
What are you gonna do from a signage standpoint so that people don't have that issue?
Yeah, so we are not open. I never have been. There's no retail, there's nothing of that nature. So I have a pretty good relationship with all of our clients that come out,
Gotcha.
and I don't want any signage whatsoever. for
Yeah,
us.
so you're just gonna tell them how to get there.
Yeah, have a pretty good conversation of how to
Right.
travel through the woods.
So are you gonna have to change the name to Graybeard in like 10, 20 years?
And we're already getting. Let me tell you, it's starting to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where the name came from, or
No, the name came from the flagship dog that really got me started in training. It's
Gotcha.
Schnauzer named Charlie. She has a big old black beard, so I figured I'd pay some homage to her. That's where that came from. The other thing that I did want to make sure that everybody was on the same page of, the fire marshal did request that we put in a handicap spot, the closest spot that's available there. The sign did come in, sign is installed. I know Mr. Stafford saw that today. We're waiting on the snow to melt and for the asphalt to dry so I can get that painted. But tis Rochester.
Yeah.
right?
Sounds good.
Anyone else have any more questions? Are there any questions from the public? Yes, Craig, you are the public tonight.
Anyone online? Don't look.
Is there anyone online? Yeah, I don't see any of that either. All right. Then, I'm hearing nothing further, I'm gonna close the public hearing for special use permit application number 2026-002, Blackbeard Canine Solutions LLC.
I'll make a motion to approve special use permit application number 2026-002 Blackbeard Canine Solution LLC. 975 Jefferson Road to operate a canine coaching service.
Second.
She got it.
But I can't think of any conditions that need to be added to
I
it, just the
think-
approval for the services, so.
Yep.
Everyone agree?
Pretty straightforward.
All right.
We're good.
Thanks, and great. Sounds like you already got a great business, so,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, so let me call a roll. Hearing no further comment, please call a roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you for coming to Henry.
Considering you don't have walk-ins or anything like that, I don't really think you need a ribbon cutting or
I do, I'll.
chamber, but yeah. If that changes, if you want to join the chamber, let me know, but like I said, I don't know that there's any perceived benefits from that.
So let me ask one more question. You know, 10-year-old lab, how old is too old for dogs for new tricks?
There's never, I gotta tell you, in my experience, there's never too. If they're starting to really break down, that's what we gotta be a little bit easier on, but they're never too old. You can always stretch that mind out. The mind never ages too much in dogs. They're puppies until the day they pass.
Yeah,
It's very true.
Right. Thank you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing. Someone had noted that all domestic dogs are essentially comparable to juvenile wolves because they've never learned from an adult wolf. Even if they are raised by another dog, that dog was also a juvenile. It was an interesting study when they compared the behaviors of dogs, it matches juvenile.
So I'm not wrong when I call all dogs puppies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people correct me. They're like, it's not a puppy, it's a full-grown dog. I'm like, they're all puppies.
Yeah.
I call my 6-year-old a pup. So.
So Billy Joel song, "You're Always a Puppy to Me."
Yeah.
All right, can we get our first resolution?
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-96, 2026. Whereas the Henrietta Public Library Friends and Foundation, Inc. has donated $10,805 to the Henrietta Public Library for adult music and craft events, summer reading programs, summer children's sing-along series, teen events, mystery book giveaway, outreach programs, early literacy events, and pollinator garden. And whereas a check in the amount of $10,805 was received by the library director, therefore be it resolved that the Henrietta Town Board acknowledges this donation and thanks to Henrietta Public Library Friends and Foundation Incorporated for their generosity.
Second. So, thank you, as always, to the work the Friends Foundation does for the library. I noticed the summer children's sing along, and they have some summer events. If you haven't been by our parking lot to see the new band shell going up, it's worth a look. I'm so excited. It's very impressive. It's can't wait to see it in use.
Yeah, I saw it today. It is impressive. And this donation covers a lot of events. Thanks to the foundation for that.
I am just really impressed that the Library Friends and Foundation has been able to raise that much money to donate to the library every year. And these are some fantastic events, really helps with the education in our community, particularly some of those things that engage our young people in reading. If anyone is not aware, literacy rates have been steadily declining with the increase of access to videos and things like that. So, anything that can continue to engage young people in books is just so important to our community.
Right? Hearing and seeing nothing further, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 6-97, 2026 to approve and or ratify the following agreements.
Second.
Whole lot of recreation agreements. All right. Any questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye. Supervisor
Schultz.
Aye.
Frank, you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
You've been
If
approved.
you get up and leave, we won't receive
Yeah,
your special use
yeah.
permit. Thank you.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-98, 2026 to authorize bills payable and any associated contracts or agreements for February 9th, 2026 through today, February 25th, 2026.
Second.
So a couple of the notable payments, employee health, dental vision, 138,000, RG&E, 64,000, salt, 32,000. First payment on the new bridge improvements, the new bridge installs, 29,000. Dog shelter pay apps, 16,000. And then the big one, it's the payment for the tax levy for the Henrietta Fire District, 19,458,000. So, any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 6-99, 2026 to authorize the supervisor to sign a community benefits agreement with the Dome Arena for use by the town.
I second.
So, as people may recall, we applied for a BRICS grant to acquire the dome. We were not awarded that grant. In fact, nobody in the entire region was awarded a BRICS grant. Our legislators were not happy about that. They're working on getting that adjusted. In the meantime, we're also applying for congressional earmark funding from both state senators, Gillibrand and Schumer, brain fart, as well as Congressman Morelli. And then we will also be pursuing the New York BRICS grant when it comes out. But we are working with Senator Cooney to see if we can get some direct funding for the the community center. That basically, that's why what we would use the dome for if we acquired it. In the meantime, we have an agreement outlined for essentially being able to use portions of the dome today. And in exchange, we would extend the pilot agreement currently in place. We would extend it for 3 years, and those 3 years would go back to what the amount was for the first year. The pilot, just to be clear, is not for the entire property. The pilot covers the improvements that were made when the current owners took over the dome. I think it was about $4.5 million in improvements. So the uses we are talking about, there is a machine shop in the Manette Hall that we would use for our maintenance mechanics, as well as potentially moving the sign shop over there as well. There's a large storage area in Manette Hall that we would have some space available to us. There's some equipment that currently gets stored outside. Well, it doesn't get stored outside, let me rephrase that. It gets stored we rent containers to store this stuff. And so we would switch to storing it in the Manette Hall instead. So that would save taxpayers money not having to rent those containers. And then we would also be able to use the space for events. We would have to book that with the other events that they hold at the dome. But, so for instance, one of the ones we talked about, at the time of year that it happens, the weather is always very iffy for the Pride celebration. Based on its size, it pushes the limits when you lay out all the tables and such of the rec center, not to mention the rec center acoustics are horrible. The dome would better accommodate that space. So that's one that we would probably try to book sooner than later to have the Pride celebration in the dome. And then you don't have to worry about, is it going to rain? Is it going to thunderstorm? Because 2 of the past 3 years have been washed out and had to be moved into the rec center. So those are the uses we're looking for. And I don't know that I got that. We got the 4.5. I don't remember if there was some other information I was supposed to get to you, but I couldn't quite get that.
The tax
With
difference, the tax difference with the.
Let's assume that's the value. It's at 90%. I can 4,500 times point. So it's approximately $3,000.
One thing I didn't add, it might have been in here, I'm looking, utilities, that's included. We don't have any utilities.
We're not paying any
Okay,
utilities.
just wanted to
No.
check. Thank you.
No, wouldn't be paying any utilities or maintenance or anything.
Supervisor, I know this isn't particularly relevant with this, with what the uses are that we're looking at for this community benefits agreement, but I have had people ask about the internet connectivity within the Dome Arena, within that area. Have there been any issues with that, or if we were to take possession of it, is that an area that we would need to look at improving?
Included in the grants, the BRICS grant wasn't just the money to acquire it, but also to modernize it, for lack of a better way, for the Manette Hall site. The Manette Hall site is still essentially a large empty shell from the days of the fairground. And if we take that over and make it recreation and community space, we would put in, so for instance, the recreational portion, we would put in the sports court flooring. So it's not bare concrete. In the community space, we would put in, depending on the room, we'd either put in the rugged carpeting or the multi-purpose flooring, similar to the multi-purpose rooms at the rec center. Included in there then would also be the all new HVAC equipment, because the current air conditioners, as Mike and I, when we toured the facility and went to look at them, have trees growing through them. So the furnaces all work, but the air conditioners do not. Yeah, so that's included in that grant proposal. And that would include probably adding security cameras, internet, whole 9 yards. In the short term, we would not be making any permanent improvements if there was if we were, take over that garage and the internet service is not great, we would probably do like we did when we first took over the golf course, which was cellular hotspot would be for the connectivity for our crews there.
Okay.
Because again, without owning the building, we're not going to make permanent improvements to the building.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on that?
No.
Anything from the public? I don't know if there's anyone online or not. All right. And hearing and seeing nothing further, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Town Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-100, 2026. Call for a public hearing. Proposed local law to amend the zoning code of the town of Henrietta to expand permissible uses on large parcels in the R1 zoning district by obtaining a special use permit.
Second.
So there was a question at the workshop as far as other parcels. Our GIS specialist, Jeremy, is going to generate a map that shows all of parcels that are 5 acres or larger inside an R1 zoning district.
That was actually my question.
Yeah, so that'll be available for the next workshop. Obviously, here we're just calling
Right.
for the special or for the public hearing. So
All right, thanks for setting that up. Steve.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we wouldn't vote on it. We wouldn't.
we
vote
would
on
not vote on it at the next meeting.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Yep. Let me just check something. No, okay. All right, any questions, comments? And hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Fellow board members, Supervisor Schultz, I have resolution 6-101, 2026 to ratify the local law number 3 of 2026 to change code violations from criminal violations to civil penalties.
Second. So we're doing this because when we passed the local law last meeting, we did make a very minor change to it. So we wanted to meet the letter of the requirement that when we ratify these, the local laws, it's been in finished form. And so obviously for at least 5 days, obviously it's been 3 weeks. So if anybody sees any issues, otherwise, like I said, we will ratify. I will note that it was filed with the Secretary of State on February 10th. So that would become its effective date. And it, 7 days, sorry. 7 days, not 5 days.
Well,
Thank you, Dan. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks to Dan for closing up loopholes on this. Really appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments? And hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members have resolution 6-102, 2026 to adopt the child security and safety policy for town recreational and educational facilities.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Then hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-103, 2026. To authorize the supervisor to execute amendment number 3 of the intermunicipal mandatory agreement of Monroe County for the maintenance of a traffic single system on Calkins Road at the town hall entrance.
Second.
So there's 3 lights. There'll be 2 more of these that essentially are the town's responsibility. Even though they're on county roads, one is the town hall entrance, one is the Memorial Park entrance, and the last one is Mushroom Boulevard. When we get to that one, I'll talk about the slight difference with that one. So, any questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 6-104, 2026. To authorize the supervisor to execute amendment number 3 of the intermunicipal amendatory agreement with Monroe County for the maintenance of a traffic signal system on Calkins Road at Memorial Drive.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Case, Mr. Supervisor and fellow town board members, I have resolution 6-105, 2026, to authorize the supervisor to execute amendment number 3 of the intermunicipal amendatory agreement with Monroe County for the maintenance of a traffic signal system on Clay Road at Mushroom Boulevard.
Second.
So what makes this one different is this one, instead of being for the service of the town, it's for the service of the Genesee Valley Regional Market Authority. And so, or the market, and the authority has agreed, they still have to see the benefits from this traffic signal. I have something from the administrator stating as such, and that they're the ones, basically, we get the bill and then we pass it on to the market authority who reimburses the town. So they are still interested in continuing to go forward with that, so.
Great.
Seeing no further comments, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-106, 2026. To authorize Kenyon Pipeline Inspections LLC to repair the sanitary sewer pipe on Viscount Drive.
Second. So this particular repair is but it's deeper than our crews can safely. We don't have the shoring equipment to go this deep, so we outsource repairs when they're that when they're greater than the depth we can go to. So, any questions, comments?
No, it's just nice to see we got that, the grant to take care of some of the costs. That's great.
Hearing and seeing nothing further, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 6-107, 2026 to authorize change order number 1 for increased cost due to the increased depth required for the helical piles to meet the required torque on the Henrietta Veterans Memorial Park bandshell project.
Second.
So basically, most of the piles met, we random tested a couple of the locations for the soil conditions. That determines the depth of the piles. A few of them the soil was softer, and so the piles had to go deep.
Okay.
Basically, the taller that structure, and especially the taller the freestanding portion of the structure, the deeper the piles have to go in order to prevent the wind torque from changing it. So, because we base the price off of the standard depth, this is just the additional cost for the additional helical portions. So. Any questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-108, 2026 to award the Campus Drive Sanitary Sewer Repair Project bid contract to Villager Construction Inc.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
This is a different company than the sewer pipe repairs for Viscount.
Correct.
Okay.
This one we went out to bid. Villager came in. This might be the one that's the deeper depth. The other one might be the slip lining projects. Now that I read the two, I think I got them cross pollinated here. Yeah, I think the Kenyon does the. I'm surprised Mr. Martin didn't chime in. Apparently he's not listening. Yeah.
Apparently, it's never good to counteract your boss. But
Yeah.
again, this is Chris Martin, Director of Engineering and Planning. And yeah, the former one for the slip lining with Kenyon Pipeline was part of the Community Development Block Grant. And yes, that was for slip lining a section of sewers that are in poor shape. The current one is just as Steve mentioned. This is near our pump station over on Campus Drive. It's about 14 to 16 feet deep. And it was an emergency repair. We sent out for 3 quotes. We received 2. This one was the low one. The second highest, the other one was just under 200,000. So we thought that this was actually a good price. And I did talk to the company Villager, and they are ready to do the work next week. If we approve this and give them the go ahead.
Great.
I will just note that fear of contradicting your boss has never stopped Mr. Martin in the past.
Duly noted, sir.
All right.
That you're aware of.
Oh, this never stopped.
This was the bids that were supposed to be opened up this morning, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's exciting. Sorry, I missed that.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 6-109, 2026 to accept the town of Henrietta landscape design guidelines, addendum number 1.
Second.
Sorry about that. Questions, comments?
These are just an update for the conservation board. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so they're about 8 years old. We adopted them my first year in office. Well, let me rephrase that. We started putting them together my first year in office and updated them the following year. So these are just over time as, either better practices or newer trees or other, they just basically try to keep them up to date. So, but yes, it's primarily the conservation board and their when they make recommendations to the developers for trees, and it also touches on not just the type of trees, but like the tree counts. So just as we, for instance, we updated the number of parking spaces we think is required per square footage of building space, same thing. We've taken a look and said, you know, one of the things you find is if you have a standard, everybody asks for a variance from it, then you probably want to revisit it. Occasionally, it's just because people don't want to spend the money. But sometimes there's I should say it's not just whether they ask, it's if they're constantly granted. Then that says to you that you've probably got some stuff that you have to adjust, so.
Um, so remind me if someone asks for a variance in the number of trees, though, they can bank them.
Well, that's right. So that's a policy we put in place, again, of 2019-ish timeframe, that if, you know, so, and the classic example of that is the car dealerships. They don't want a bunch of trees in front of their cars. So we say, they used to just say, okay, you don't have to put the trees in. Now we say, you need to put the trees in, but if you don't want to put them in the front of your property and you don't have a place in the back of your property, then put them in at the top. So we still require the number of trees. If they don't fit on the property, then we have to put them in either a park or a town land. It could, you know.
Just out of curiosity,
Could
were
be
any of them were any of those banked trees used in the town orchard?
Not the orchard that I'm aware of, but like we have used them. We've done some here at the park. We did some at Tinker because we lost some trees at Tinker. I believe they've done some at what's it called? The Educators Grove.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment on, I think I like the fact that it's being updated and checked on. I think the Conservation Board is pretty good at like the nuances of our like soil conditions and what works best in our area. I think that's important. Also, I saw that the diameter was reduced down, so thicker diameter. A lot of times the trees won't survive because they're just too big and too adult. If you get more juvenile, they have a better chance of surviving and growing from there, because transferring a bigger tree, they go into shock when they go to a new soil area, and the soil conditions too. But
So you can't teach an old tree new tricks.
Mr. Supervisor, this is the Director of Finance, Linda Salpini. Not to contradict you, but yes, we did use some money for the fruit orchard.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Great.
Yes.
I couldn't remember if we had or not. I'm always fine with being contradicted when I'm wrong.
Well, it's nice to see that we have Barton and Judas still helping us with the landscape guideline. They were there in the very beginning, and it's nice to see they're still there to help out.
Any other questions or comments? Yep.
Evening, members of the board. Just want to get in and tag on with what Ms. Owen said. We have a great also circular reference with Noreen from the board, who is also a certified arborist for the town. So she gets to see them in the beginning and also gets to go out and inspect them at the end. So it really helps with her background and her being a certified arborist, helping out the town, help us learn from, again, the smaller size calipers. We always thought that developers wanted cheaper, smaller trees, which we thought, you know, we needed to grow quicker. So we went to bigger sizes thinking that would be better. So getting her information on that. So it's really helping out to understand and get better landscaping in our town. So thank you.
yeah, it's not the most logical. Like it's not something the layperson would know, but having these members on the Conservation Board that have a huge amount of knowledge, conservation is very vast. I think you know, with my background in agriculture, I know fruits and stuff, fruit trees, but and a little bit of forestry. And my sister has a whole different specialty, and Noreen has another one. So it's good to see that this Conservation Board is full of people with different expertise.
Agreed. Great. Hearing and seeing nothing further, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-110 of 2026 to authorize an increase in the professional services service fee in EC 4B engineering PC due to changes in the scope of services for reducing the overall construction costs for the Henrietta Municipal Dog Shelter.
Second.
So, for those who don't recall the trials and tribulations of the dog shelter, the new guidelines from Ag and Markets have insane amounts of air handling requirements and HVAC equipment. And when we got the bill for the three bids for the three contracts in the building, it was way over budget. We looked at potentially shrinking the building, and then we also looked at value engineering and came up with a number of things that would, we ultimately decided to not shrink the building because the cost savings from shrinking the building didn't justify the loss of functionality. The big thing being that we would have lost the carport, which would allow the dog control officers to pull the vehicles into the building, shut the garage door behind them, and then safely transfer the dogs to the kennels without fear of them getting loose. But there were cost savings, including changing the roof configuration to eliminate a gable, as well as a number of other changes that necessitated the redesign from all three aspects: mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. That $10,000 additional, that $10,000 additional authorization will save us over $50,000 in building costs. So
Outstanding.
it's
Yeah.
worth the additional design that we had to do there. And I say over 50,000 because that's just how much we have today. We have on there a list of credits that we should be getting for some of the other stuff that was implemented to save costs. So,
Great.
and then I will note that instead of shrinking the building, what we were able to do was get additional funding from Assemblymember Bronson to cover that delta. And then in addition, town of Brighton came on board. So when you look at the pro rata amounts based on population, we're only covering 50% of those costs. Brighton will cover 35%. Wheatland is about 9%. Rush is about 6%. So by splitting it amongst the four towns, it saves us all a bunch of money, especially the smaller towns who, whereas they have, I think they said I don't know if it was Rush or Wheatland had like 6 dogs last year, all of last year. Under these Ag and Markets guidelines, they would have required to have 3 kennels: a quarantine kennel, a nursing kennel, and a regular kennel for 6 dogs a year.
Yeah.
So it really made sense for the towns to come together, especially the small towns. I will say, even we don't really need the quarantine kennel. We're talking to all 4 municipalities. No one has had an infectious dog in those 4 towns, but we have to have it there just in case. Now, the good thing I will say is we can also use that kennel if we have an aggressive dog. So we can keep an aggressive dog separate if we have multiple dogs. We can keep aggressive dogs in the quarantine so that it's not stressing out the other dogs in the pen. So
I feel like with the quarantine, I think in anticipation, because we don't know.
I understand why it's
Yeah.
there, but like I said, for the cost that the burden it puts on for these small towns,
Yeah,
it's
too much.
It's too much. But so this solves that problem. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that we're able to, be a centralized town for those other towns, but I also appreciate that we're gonna have it right here. That'll make it convenient.
well, we will have the most dogs. Yeah. So the fact that, and then, we do have the full-time officers. So that also helps the other towns because while we're here in the daytime, they can go, you have to do 3 shifts a day with those dogs. Our full-time staff can do that. And then it helps us as well because where we've had problems is our officers coming in again 3 times on the weekend. Now we're splitting those duties across the 4 towns. It means a lot less impact on our dog control officers. So
Great.
You might not know the answer, Steve, but are you aware of all the other towns in the county
They've
have,
done.
have figured out what
I
they're
don't-
gonna do?
I don't know what all of them are going to do. I do know there are 4 or 5 towns on the west side who are doing the same thing.
Okay.
One of the towns has a compliant kennel and the others are all in there. I think there's something similar on the east side. I don't know if it's associated with Lollipop or if it's a separate kennel, but again, something like that on the east side, but I don't know all the towns. I do know Chilai had built something, although I also know they started it before the new standards came out. It was in response to, in COVID, a lot of the private shelters, most towns didn't have their own shelters. They just, when a dog would come in, they would board them at a private shelter. But a lot of those private shelters shut down. And so in response, Chilai built a shelter. It does not meet the current specs. So I don't know if they're updating it. I'm not sure what to do.
Well, looking at this, it's been a long time, planning, and I'd like
Yeah.
just to say, as Millie, kind of, I want to thank Steve for taking the lead on this and inviting the other towns to come in and share with us. And, it's nice to hear that Brighton came around
Yep.
late, but they're in.
Yep.
So it's a good thing for us to have this and do it in a very expedient and affordable way.
And if you haven't been out there, the foundation's report, the footers, or the footers report and the foundation walls blocks are going up. And so,
When do we think it'll be ready?
we're expecting, May, June timeframe. May, if everything goes great, we've already seen weather-wise, that's not the case. So, we're expecting June, but they were confident. I wanted them to hopefully be done before the, July 4th, when all the parking lots are full and everything. So, they were quite confident they could meet that. In theory, we were supposed to have it done by December 31st. But Ag and Markets didn't get their grants out until summer. And then again, we went out to bid. They understand as long as they're seeing progress towards it, we're allowed to extend the deadline for this being in compliance. So.
Great.
Any other questions, comments? I will just say that we will have to update our agreement. So our dog control officer was going through the volumes of stuff under the new agreement, and they do have a section now for because obviously we're not the only town doing this intermunicipal agreement. There are certain details that have to be spelled out in intermunicipal agreement. The thing we put together in the first place was primarily about how it was being funded. So there are some operational rules that have to be in there. And some of them we already had talked about. So, but it has to dictate, for instance, that each of the town is still responsible for their own dogs until the dog is discharged. Who's responsible for collecting the fees, which we've talked about, that's going to be us for the boarding fees, not for the license or any of the fees for the dog impound fees. Are the town that picks up the dog is responsible for the impound fees, but while they're at the kennel, the boarding fees. And again, our goal is to set the boarding fees such that it covers the operation of the kennel. We're not going to get it right the first year. We're going to take a guess, and then based off of those costs and the number of dogs that are in there, we'll make adjustments. But
Right. Sounds
all right. Hearing nothing further, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford,
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's you.
Sorry, that was a long conversation about the
We all love dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fellow board members, I have resolution 6-111-2026 to authorize the purchase of one new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado for the highway department.
Second. Any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 6-112-2026 to authorize the purchase of one new 2026 Chevy Silverado for the Buildings and Ground Maintenance Department.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
This comment is like, looking at the price of both of these trucks. Somebody is always looking for a new pickup truck. These are great prices that we
Good.
get through the state grant or the state bid.
Good
Process.
contract process, yeah.
Yes.
No, you can't buy one through it.
No, I believe me, I wish I could.
It would be awesome. Make it a lot more affordable. They're expensive.
Any further comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-113-2026 to authorize an extension of special use permit application number 2025-019 for Emerald Events / Emerald Exclusive Decor LLC to operate an event space and banquet hall at 2199 East Henrietta Road.
Second.
So, the fire marshal determined based on the capacity, that they were gonna need to install sprinklers, so they have to get that done before they can get their C of O, which is why they're asking for an extension.
No.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 6-114-2026 to acknowledge receipt of the January 2026 revenue and expense reports.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution 6-115-2026 to hire personnel.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Fellow board members, I have resolution 6-116-2026 to rescind and authorize emergency expenditure for replacement of a dump plow truck body.
Second, so at Monday's meeting, basically, end of last week, beginning of this week, we found a dump body for one of the trucks whose dump body had rotted out. We were hoping to get it back into production so that it can help out with the plowing. And so when we found someone on Friday that would be willing to, who had one available, as long as we bought it by Monday, we did an emergency authorization. When we took the bed off, we found out that where the bed was connected to the truck the chassis was all rotted out.
Oh,
The cost of repairing that chassis, which we knew it only had a few years left on it, but basically what was happening, because the chassis or the dump body was spilling salt, it was hitting the wheels and getting kicked up in between the dump body and the chassis. And so it just didn't make sense to fix a chassis, put $30,000 to repair a chassis that didn't have $30,000 worth of life left.
Mhm.
So because of that, there's no reason to do an emergency purchase of the truck body, and so, I don't like using emergency procedures if it's not truly, if the conditions don't warrant it, so, we will get the truck body, which was actually already previously approved through normal acquisition. That will come in when we get the new chassis, but there's no way that's gonna be in service before the end of this snow season. Well, hopefully the snow season will be over by the time the
You
truck
don't,
comes in.
you don't never know.
You just never know. So like I said, we're just gonna rescind the emergency order and go back to purchasing it normally. Any other questions, comments? And hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Barley,
Aye.
Councilmember Stafford.
Aye.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Owens,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. That concludes our resolutions. Do we have any committee or miscellaneous reports from the board?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll let you go first.
okay. Well, I just had a quick question for Steve on the band shell. Did they finish the steel today, the framing?
It looked like it, yeah.
Yes, that's what I thought. Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, there still has to be a steel deck put on. I saw them welding. I was sitting there, I'm like seeing bright lights out my window. I'm like, oh, they welded that. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that the steel was done. All the purlins are in, but like I said, the roofing material is not on yet.
Right. Okay. And then also another comment, just it was good to meet our new special attention detail officer, Sean Mayo. So it was nice meeting him. So what I got from the fire department is last week, many of you may have heard, there was a serious car accident over Exeter Road. There was life-threatening injuries in there, so hopefully everybody will be careful. Just a reminder for people to wear their seatbelts. Back on the 10th of February, there was a serious gas leak in a vacant home in Farnsworth that everybody probably may have heard about. Caused the other houses around that house to be evacuated. Someone had broken into the house, stealing the copper plumbing, and in the process, they somehow broke the gas line. So that was the reason for the gas leak. Fire district is always looking for volunteers, so contact the fire district if you want to. And then so far this year, they're about 15% busier than last year this time, which is quite a lot. And about 10% of those calls are from colleges. And that's all I got right now.
In the historic site committee, last meeting, they were very excited about having a district acknowledged and set up.
Yep.
And they're looking at ways to let our residents know about what the town is doing for historic homes, both for residential and commercial. Some exciting things will probably be happening. Maybe see some stuff on the news, getting the news channels involved in getting the word out for us. And our newest member, Mary, is kind of spearheading that.
Great.
The other thing is we have Craig Barber, his daughter is on the girls bowling team, and they won sectional again today.
They did.
So it's the second time in 2 years they've won. His daughter's name is Halia. And so we're gonna say congratulations to them and wish them luck in Syracuse as they go to state. So congratulations to the whole team, the girls bowling team. They're really good. I've seen them once perform and they're a good team.
We've turned out some pretty good bowling teams in
Yes.
Henrietta.
Yes, we have.
The boys team were on a roll a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, and it's great
Right.
to hear that
Yeah.
the ladies are stepping it up.
Yeah, that's not an easy sport. They're really good.
Not mine, that's for sure.
Right.
Plus I have the little bar.
That's all right.
The Parks and Rec, a couple of things. They'll be opening up summer camp registration, summer programming registration a little bit earlier this year. So you can look for that to come out in the next couple of weeks. A lot of other summer camps do registration fairly early, so they're going to open it up a little bit earlier. I think many people are aware that the Henrietta Senior Center is working on an expansion, which is pretty exciting for the seniors over there. I was able to get a little bit of a tour and things, and lots of exciting stuff going there. And over the past 2 weekends, there were two fantastic events at the rec center. Both of them were gymnastics related. So one was a fairly large competition at all different levels. So 2 weekends ago was a competition for all different levels. I was able to stop in and see the platinum level perform, and it was just so exciting to see the young people supporting each other, and so proud of Henrietta. Henrietta had a very strong team that was out there. We had a large group of kids representing us. And this past weekend, it was very exciting. I got to see the Special Olympics gymnastics teams competing. And really, it could just bring tears to your eyes to see how proud they were to show off the skills that they've all been working on, to see the families out there supporting, to see I don't know if everyone is aware, but our older teens will often come back and volunteer with the Special Olympics teams. So they're developing their own leadership skills, and you can just see the pride when their students are successful. So just a really wonderful event. And then the library, of course, is having many fantastic activities and events, just really helping to eliminate barriers for access to education and that type of thing. They are focusing this year on adding seating. I know I've personally been to the library, and you do the little circuit looking for some place to sit, and there's no place to sit sometimes when it's busy. So they're looking to add in some additional seating so that they can accommodate people comfortably without having a lot of competition for that.
I just want to add 2 weeks ago, I went to the gymnast competition. It was impressive. Very, very impressive to see these young people.
Henrietta is a strong showing.
And I got there late. I only got there for probably the last half hour or so, but it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll say the Parks and Rec Board, other people that travel for these gymnastic tournaments talk about how hard it is for parents even to get into some of these other tournaments, because not only do they have to pay the tournament fee for their child to participate, and they have to, get a hotel and all of that stuff in order to participate, but they have to pay an entrance fee for them to come in and watch their child. And some of those entrance fees are extraordinarily high.
Wow. Yeah, they come here and they don't.
They come here, and other parents are so happy to be able to participate, and
Right,
the barrier, they don't face those barriers.
Yeah, no entrance fee or anything else.
Yep.
Then the other thing I'll note is that, I hear all the time when I'm talking to folks, they'll be, from other towns in the region, and they're all like, oh yeah, my kids are in gymnastics at Henrietta because the program is so great.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Do you have anything?
I think I'm good. Most of my committees were
Previous, but yep.
previous ones, yeah.
I'll just state that I gave the state of the town address yesterday, and I will be putting it in PDF form up on the web, probably in a week or so, and then there will also be excerpts of it in the next town newsletter. So, as stated at the event, the town is very healthy, good fiscal strength, a lot of projects going forward. Certainly keeping our town staff very busy with all the stuff we're doing. You know, as I mentioned there, one of the things that we've done over the past 8 years is bring a lot of the services that were once contracted services in-house. To me, that pride of ownership, and a perfect example of that is the cleaning. The cleaning that's done at all the town facilities is so much better since we brought it in-house than when we were contracting it out. They, you know, like I said, they'll see an area that, you know, maybe is not part of the normal rotation, but they'll be like, okay, I've got to, you know, clean the I-beams in the rec center so that when I'm up on the walking track, I'm not looking down at a whole bunch of dust.
Mhm.
You know, it's that type of, you know, they're looking at better ways to clean the floor and clean the salt and to keep the windows clean. So, you know, again, a perfect example of that, but also even just all the, you know, so like the bathrooms that we've put in all the town parks, those were built by our town staff. It's a way to be more cost effective.
Yep.
So you have to have individuals on hand to deal with emergencies. Well, now those individuals, in addition to dealing with the emergencies, can also, you know, again, build out some of the infrastructure, you know, so again, let's use the example of the band shell. The steel portion of the band shell, that's being built externally. But when we put the bathrooms around that and the stage, it's going to be our town crews who do that work. So, as well as then our highway and DPW folks, you know, when we do these projects, we've been doing this for quite some time. We typically do the site work. And oh, by the way, our engineering team does the site plans. Again, saves money because those individuals are already on staff for whether it's plowing, mowing, you know, sewer repairs, things like that. Or again, on the engineering side, they have to review all the stuff that comes in. In addition to doing those reviews, they can now also be doing our work to save taxpayer money. So big shout out to all the employees who work here across all the departments. They've done a phenomenal job, including improving, just constant improvement on customer service. So, got a really good team.
Steve,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, no, I was just gonna say that you were talking about when you brought it inside, people took ownership and pride in this because it's theirs. I've seen that throughout my career where you know, working for the federal government, they started outsourcing everything. You can see the qualities of the buildings, they just were going downhill. There's no ownership, there's no pride in it. Doing that, it saves money because people have some sense of pride. I'm like, this is my building. I look at how beautiful it is. I see it in the school I work in. We have a great custodial team that comes in and does an amazing job in our school. So there's a big difference between when organizations bring it inside.
So Steve, you mentioned the state of the town meeting yesterday. Yes, I know you put a lot of work into that, and it shows. You know, everybody leaves there, and so great job, I thought, yesterday. So thank you for that.
Yep.
And also bring up employees. You know, understand I had the bills this month, twice this month, and I can tell you, I understand it's Jennifer Black who gets them all set for me and just does a wonderful job. Makes the job much easier, and just to go through those bills when she, you know, and it's spot on all the time. So want to thank her for all of her.
Great, thank you. Anything from the public? All right.
Nothing, Frank?
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay.
Hearing no objections, meeting adjourned.